Hi, this is Defense, the smart lawyer's way. In this video, we are going to discuss about the case of Vijay Madan Lal Chowdhury and others versus Union of India and others. This case deals about the constitutional validity of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. Let's look into the facts of the case. In the present case, the Apex Court dealt with a bunch of petitions which challenge the constitutional validity of the provision of Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 along with the procedures followed in the Act. Additionally, some petitioners have appealed to the Supreme Court against the High Court's decision on challenging the validity of the amended Section 45 of the Act and Enforcement Directorate's investigation procedure. Let's look into the issues of the case. Whether projecting proceeds of crime as untainted property considered to be an offence under PMLA in a situation where such projection is not conjoined with concealment, possession and acquisition. Let's look into the arguments of the petitioners. The now senior counsel representing the petitioners argued that the procedures followed by the Enforcement Directorate in registering the enforcement case information report opaque, arbitrary and in violation of an accused person's constitutional rights. It was argued that the ED can currently arrest a person based on the information report without informing him of its content, which is arbitrary and violates its constitutional rights. The PMLA does not specify any investigative procedure that is sufficiently thorough to be considered as a procedure established by law. As a result, there are no procedural safeguards in place to prevent the ED's broad powers from being abused arbitrarily. In order to safeguard the rights of the accused to a fair trial, the ED must subject to the safeguards in CRPC. In 2017, the Supreme Court held that Section 45 of the Act was unconstitutional. The Union government amended it to rectify one of the defects. However, the amendment did not rectify the most crucial defect. The provision reverses the presumption of innocence in criminal law by making the court assume guilt. This reduces the chances of the accused person securing bail to a vanishing point, which makes the provision arbitrary and unconstitutional. Let's look into the arguments advanced by the defendant. It is asserted that the ED's primary goal is to detain property from money laundering and not to punish crimes. The PMLA does not give the ED the police power. Many provisions of the CRPC, such as requirement of registering an FIR and serving notice to an accused before making an arrest, will provide the PMLA accused time to delete all the incriminating evidences. Therefore, CRPC cannot apply to the PMLA investigations as it defeats the purpose of the Act. A distinct procedure needs to be followed to investigate the offences of money laundering. In 2017, the Supreme Court found only one flaw in Section 45, that bail could only be granted when it gets convinced that the accused person is innocent in both the money laundering offence and the predicate offence. This flaw was fixed by the Union government in 2019 amendment. Let's move on to the judgment of this case. The ruling upheld Section 45, which mandates two bail conditions. The Supreme Court ruled that the provisions of arrest cannot be deemed unconstitutional because they are distinct from CRPC. The court held that Section 3 of the PMLA Act is not limited to the projection of property as untainted. It expressed that the expression "and" is to be perused as "or." The court stated that the procedure outlined in Section 50 of the Act is to be regarded as an inquiry rather than an investigation. The court added that since EDs are not police officials, their statements recorded under Section 50 of the Act do not violate Article 20, Clause 3 of the Constitution. Additionally, the court upheld the Sections 4, 5, 8 and 45 of the Act. Let's look into the precedents referred in the case. The case of Seaford Court Estates Limited vs. Asher, it was held that principles of statutory interpretation dictate that any interpretation which lead to mischief should be avoided. The statute should be construed that the legislative intent is not defeated. To conclude, the case of Vijay Madan Lal Chowdhury, the court determined that the provisions of the Act conforms to the Constitution. Thank you for watching this video. Kindly subscribe and share. Stay lobbified.